With banners, and first we'll take a look at the two teams for tonight. The Scotland manager, Ali MacLeod, has brought Alan Rough back into goal. He loses defenders Willie Donachie and Martin Buchan through injury. And Rangers men Sandy Jardine and Tom Forsyth take their places. Up front, they are pinning a lot of hopes on Kenny Dalglish and on West Brom's Willie Johnston to beat the Czechs down the left flank. For Sandy Jardine of Rangers, a recall. His form, they say, this season up here has been quite tremendous. And certainly he's got the experience with 30 Scottish caps to his credit. Alan Rough, well, he lost his place in the Partick Thistle side earlier this season, but he's got it back now, and he's got his Scottish place back as well. David Stewart of Leeds United, having been the Scottish goalkeeper in the last game against East Germany. As for the Czechs, they come with 7 men who won the European Championship in 1976, but they too are missing key defenders, Pivanik, who lost his form, and Ondras, who was sent off with Andy Gray in Czechoslovakia last year. Both men, of course, missed the game through suspension. Mikulik is a relatively new goalkeeper who might be under pressure. Masny and Nahoda, the forwards that Scotland must watch closely. There's Pavel Mikulik. He's 23-year-old. He takes over from the great Ivo Victor in goal. Only 5 caps. He might be under enormous pressure tonight. Karol Tobias, he's got 59 caps to his credit, and he might need all the experience he can call upon tonight as they play the Czech national anthem here at Hampden Park. Tonight is Mr. Francois Rion of Belgium. And now we're just about all warmed up and ready to start. Scotland in the dark blue shirts and white shorts, attacking the goal to our left. Czechoslovakia, as you can see, an all-white strip. There's Polak, the number 9 and midfield player for them, shrugged off the ball by Bruce Field. Are Scotland on their way to Argentina in a group that is really wide open? Each side has played 2. This is Scotland, Czechoslovakia and Wales. Each have lost 1 and each have won 1. With Scotland, of course, to face Wales at Anfield, and then Wales in due course to go to Czechoslovakia for the last game in the group. But the Scots desperately needing a victory here again tonight against the Czechs, who they beat, of course, in the last World Cup, here by 2-1 in 1973. Rioch now again for Scotland. Tremendous atmosphere here. And a shot by Asa Hartford, cannoning off that Czech defence. Here's Willie Johnston. And a long, long cross, and Mikulek, a good safe gather. And here come Czechoslovakia now. Masny has gone way forward. There he is, number 10. A good swift inter-challenge there by Gordon McQueen. Asa Hartford. Kenny Dalglish, a good turn across the face of that Czech goal. And Jordan couldn't quite get up fast enough to turn in what could have been a simple chance. A great run here by Dalglish. He turned superbly. The noise is deafening, but the touch wasn't there for Jordan. So Pavel Mikulek with the goal kick. Hartford, Johnston. Ali McLeod said he could be such a key man down this left flank. Danny McGrain, unusual seeing him in a left back position. Dalglish, that'll be cut out though by the number 6 Dobiash. Here's the big Dvorak on the ball now. Back to Alan Rough. Jordan going for this one. Dalglish will hope to make something of it, but again the Czech goalkeeper very quick off his line. Sprightly enough opening for Scotland, backed by this enormous noisy crowd. Dvorak, Dobiash. Forward towards Masny. Very skillful player. You mustn't take any chances with him. I don't think Polak will get there. Danny McGrain. And a throw to Czechoslovakia. Paurik with it. Didysek was fouled there by Masson. And Dobiash with the free kick for Czechoslovakia. Chipped in there towards Nehoda. Boric, cross not going very far. Little murders there. There's Sandy Jardine. Calling Jordan towards him. Joe Jordan. Played there for McQueen. Slipped here for McGrain. Forward for Masson. Masson again. The long ball to Sandy Jardine. And Dvorak getting it away. And Forsyth back to Ruff. Masson. Of course, it's very difficult in a way for the Scottish team, with the crowd willing them to do well. It's always a danger that their football can become a little frantic in all this noise, and with all the waving of the banners. They've got to play good, patient football and wait for the breaks to come their way. Chapkovic. Dvorak. Dobiash. Played wide onto the far side to Gerk. McQueen again getting way, way above Masson. That should be cut out, as indeed it is by the number 2, Pavlik. Here's Polak. Masny. Nehoda's outside him. This is the ball for Nehoda. Good challenge, though, by Forsyth. And not such a good pass. Murder. Pavlik. Chepkovic. Polak. Dobiash. Polak again. Bringing the ball forward now to the number 7, Gajdušek. Masny. And a foul by Masny on Jardine. Jordan leaping into that one. Dalglish. Riok cutting it out well. Polak. Polak again. Played for Nehoda. Polak. Throw given to Czechoslovakia. And Murder with it. A push by Nehoda on Jardine. Masson. Calling Dalglish towards him, taking that pass from Joe Jordan. Kenny Dalglish. A long cross towards Jordan again. Masson with a long shot! Caught that beautifully, but equally the Czech goalkeeper was nicely behind it, coming out very well. He controlled it well, in fact, Masson, and the keeper down equal to it. Nehoda now. Good, strong run here by Masny, and a good, strong challenge by Forsyth. He's a really dangerous character, this Czech, Masny. He destroyed England in Bratislava in the European Championship last time round. He's got a corner now for the Czechs. And they've brought up the big number 4, Dvorak. Nehoda's in there. Murder's in there. Played wide for Dobiash. That's his shot. That wasn't far away. Scored in the European Championship final against West Germany, Dobiash, which of course the Czechs won in Belgrade. Scored their second goal. And in fact, that was a little too close to comfort here for the Scots. Asa Hartford for Scotland. To Don Masson. Neat bit of play there by Masson for Danny McGrain. Masson again. Oldest man in the Scottish side at 33. That's out of play. Dobiash wanting to get that throw taken quickly. And the linesman on the far side was flagging for something, an offside, I think. Although clearly the ball was out of play before that offside situation happened. Free kick then to Czechoslovakia. Nehoda getting up. And another throw for Czechoslovakia. Pauric with it. Polak. finding Gurk. Nehoda now on that far side to deal with Tom Forsyth, a free kick. 10 minutes gone, no score. Jordan, good backward header there. Dvorak nicely behind it though for the Czechs. Free kick for Scotland. A foul by Gurk on Jordan. Hassan, who seems to take all these free kicks for Scotland. Gordon McQueen has come up. I wonder if the Czechs have noticed. Now they would have done. And Polak getting it away. Murder. There was a free kick there though. A foul by the Scots. This is Gurk. Dobiash. Chapkovic. Dvorak. Gurk. Oh, he took a chance there with Dalglish. That's a free kick. Joe Jordan, in fact, who got the winner against Czechoslovakia in the last World Cup here in '73. Gurk with the free kick. McQueen again beating Masny in the air, but only by pushing down on the Czech number 10. So a free kick to Czechoslovakia. Czech was allowed to go a little way there. Here's Polak, and here's Masny. Nehoda's waiting in the middle. McQueen getting it away, but not far. Kajúček. Kajúček again. He's got a great left foot, but not on that occasion. And Danny McGrain for Scotland. Now Willie Johnston. Dalglish turned on beautifully. Can Jordan turn on this? Oh, and a good save again by the keeper. Dalglish already causing all sorts of problems for the Czechs. Turned nicely on that header. Jordan himself turned well. And the keeper again did well. That would just have gone inside. Polak for Czechoslovakia. Kajúček. Nehoda. And McGrain going into him like a ton of bricks. And coming away with the ball, which for Scotland was more important. Tremendous fullback. Great backing here from Celtic fans. Alan Roth. Danny McGrain again. Kenny Dalglish. Willie Johnston. Sweeping past the fullback, a lovely cross there towards Joe Jordan. It might come for Don Masson. Cannoned off a Czech defender and falls for Nehoda. Masny, stopped well by Jardine. Now McGrain, now Masson. Hartford. And a foul there by Kajúček. And a free kick to Scotland. Asa Hartford with it. Curl towards Joe Jordan again. Kajúček. Good ball offside though. And as well for Scotland that he was. Belgian linesman quickly had his flag up, stopping Nehoda in his tracks. When for once the Scots seemed to be caught well up without a lot of cover, And a little on the square side. Quarter of an hour gone, no score. Crane, Johnston. Again, that delicate cross. There's Masson again, trying to catch it on the volley. Goal kick. Masny, Pollack, Masny, oh, a wild challenge there by Danny McGrain, and the referee calling him to him, and quite rightly so. That was a bad challenge on Masny. Just look at that. Number 2 going in there and thumping him down, and Masny, in fact, is still on the ground. The crowd not happy about that, but that was a bad challenge by Danny McGrain. The free kick taken, and it'll go through the rough. Just stayed inside the area. Now McGrain. Now Masson. McGrain. To McQueen. First, looked to me as though Masny had played the ball there. I think the referee was mindful that there might have been an air of vengeance about that challenge, or maybe he was looking for it. In that case, it wasn't there. It seemed a perfectly fair challenge by the Czech number 10. There's McQueen going up. As Hartford now prepares to take this free kick. Claiming that Masny's not 10 yards off the ball. Through towards McQueen. Now, Riot, can he turn this back? Putting it straight at Goff for the corner. Goff, the number 5. Pollack, the number 9. And Willie Johnston, the number 17, with the corner for Scotland. Masson in there. McQueen is on the goal line, causing trouble there. And it's there by Jordan! A lovely corner. McQueen causing trouble on that line. Jordan rising superbly. Past the keeper, corner of the net. 1-0 to Scotland. And from another angle, look at the bumping and boring there. That was interesting. But look at the jump as well, and the goal for Scotland. 1-0 to Scotland, 18 minutes gone. Now we shall see how the Czechs, with 7 of their European winning side, can fare at Hampden tonight. They're a side notoriously that travel badly, and since they won that championship in 1976 against West Germany, they've played 5 matches away from Czechoslovakia and have not won one of them. And they come here tonight with their morale pretty low because they had a terrible journey up from London the night before last, and they had to sit in a train all night and got no sleep, and they were worried by that. They'll be more than worried by that goal of Joe Jordan that puts Scotland ahead now. Now the throw for Scotland, a good long one by Willie Johnston and a good fist away, but the whistle had gone. In fact, it was a foul throw on the far side. I think it'll be a throw for Czechoslovakia. Linesman on the far side flagging, yes, it'll be another throw. Which Berg will take. Forsyth in first, but in fact he was obstructed, and Scotland get another free kick. Relentless pressure now they're putting on the Czechs. Don Masson will float another free kick. Gordon McQueen and Joe Jordan are up there again. It doesn't get to either Jordan or McQueen because Dvorak gets it away for Czechoslovakia. Dobiash. Masny. Oh, a wild challenge from behind by Riok. Well, the referee can't allow this to go on. That's twice Masny, the very talented number 10, has really been wildly assaulted by the Scots. First time by McGrain, and now by Riok. And their intention, as he shakes his head there, you can see, is to stifle the talents of number 10. Chapkovic. Masson. Back for Rock. A throw for Czechoslovakia. Masny, not to be denied by the wild challenges that have come his way, but losing out to Gordon McQueen and Danny McGrain to Alan Rock. Jordan. Murder. Dvorak. To Michelin. Murder. Chased by Dalglish. Forced into that error. Hartford to Johnston. Really is doing that right back. A roasting free kick. Up comes McQueen again. Hartford tries to pinpoint another free kick. No, it's Willie Johnston. Murder got it away. Jardine, Forsyth, and Jardine. Almost everybody centred in that last third of the pitch, in the just in and around that Czechoslovakian penalty area. Now they're coming out as Murder takes possession for the Czechs. Gurk. Hartford losing it to Nehoda, but he's almost alone up there. That was a silly challenge from behind that time by Forsyth. Gives away the free kick. Polak to Gajdusek. Nehoda. Polak. Oh, he let the dummy go through, and Tobias couldn't quite get there. And Hartford brings it away now for Scotland. That won't go to Willie Johnston. And here's Masny again. Oh, he's skated past one, he's skated past another. And he's got a corner. Lovely, tricky little bit of skill there by Marian Masny. Here he is, now to take the corner for Czechoslovakia. No, he's going to leave it to Gajdusek. Brought the big number 4, Dvorak, up. And it, in fact, reached the number 4, but he couldn't quite turn it sufficiently to worry Alan Rock. There he is, Dvorak. Dvorak's header. Dirk. Just getting in before Riok. Murder. Dobiash. Chapkovic. Murder. Really tough little midfield player he is. Masny. So desperate that this man turns it on tonight for them. Masny. He's a very moody player. And one tends to think that when things are going badly, he doesn't really turn it on, but they need it tonight from him. Here's Murder. Nehoda. Free kick. Foul by Forsyth. Masny turned well there on Forsyth. Little deflection there, and McQueen got in, but it's a corner again for Czechoslovakia. Again, the big Dvorak is there. Powerfully struck corner again. Murder on the far side. Cross coming in again, and it... Oh. Well, Gaidushek is said to have a marvellous left foot, but he's not had much of a chance of showing it yet. But another corner for Czechoslovakia. 26 minutes gone, Scotland leading by a goal to nil. Joe Jordan, the man who scored it. The left foot of Gaidushek, playing it short this time to Murder. Looking for a chance to get his cross in. Riok is there with him. And Riok at last with a chance to get it away. Here's Dalglish. Past Pollack. Willie Johnson on this side. Here's Masson. Stabbing it here for McGrain. In for Dalglish, offside. Dvorak, no chance at all for Dobiash there. Willie Johnston. Well, the ball found Masson. Now Hartford. Jordan. Away by Dvorak. Danny McGrain. May just have come off the head of Gerg, but no, it didn't. There's the goal scorer. And there's the man he beat. Dvorak for Czechoslovakia. Dobiash. Gerg. Dobiash. Chapkovic. Masny. Pollack, ball through the legs of Masson. He would have enjoyed that. Gerg, Dobiash, pushing a few forward now, the Czechs. Gaidushek on the far side. Nehoda, Dobiash, Gerg, Pollack. Straight to the number 14 for Forsyth. A throw given to the Czechs. And here's Masny. Turning McQueen again. And again. But he still can't get that yard to get the cross in that he wanted. He nearly got something going there. Hartford breaking it up. Now Masson. McGrain. Now Willie Johnston. ball. Go on, he says. Dalglish is going on as well. A chip across there, and now it'll come for Masson for the shot. A little chip just wide. That looked very dangerous indeed, as Dalglish was allowed to go on. But in the end, the Scots could get nothing out of it. And here's the goal kick. Half an hour gone, 1-0. Neherda to Gajducek. Nerda. Neherda. Masny, the little touch, but off the referee. He got it where he wanted the second time, but Masson got it where he wanted as well. Joe Jordan. Well, again, the throw given to Scotland, to Czechoslovakia rather. Polak. Nerda. Dobiash. Gerg. Beginning, just suspecting that they're beginning to put one or two things together, the Czechs now. Looking just a little more confident, and looking with a little bit of luck that they might be in a position to open up the Scots. But at the moment they've got to do some more defending with Masson on the ball. Now Riok. McQueen to Masson. McGrain turning well on Polak. Dalglish, beautiful touch. Now McGrain again, no penalty. But it comes to Willie Johnston. Masson turning it in. And Michalik throwing it there for Dvorak. Masson. Hartford. The Scottish midfield, very, very hard at the moment to deny. Again, Masson doing the masterminding. Here's Riok looking forward at every opportunity to come forward for a shot. But that's another goal kick. Having a tremendous game already, Don Masson. Dvorak holding off Jordan. A nice little touch there by Murder for Gerg. Neherda, the number 11, doing the chasing. And here's Joe Jordan to Bruce Riok. Oh, that was wide of Hartford and fell for Polak. Dobiash, a bad pass. Dalglish, Masson, Hartford, nice touch, good play by the Scottish midfield. Now Willie Johnston. Played in for Dalglish. Can he turn and make something of it? McGrain. Johnston. For a corner for Scotland. Again, McQueen is up there, and the only Scottish goal so far has come from a corner when McQueen used his weight, as you can see there, and his agility on that line. Well, the Scottish crowd behind that goal must have seen something and claimed, I would imagine, that there was a bit of bumping and boring on McQueen. But the referee allowed it to go on. But here's Willie Johnston. Masson. Neherda. Polak. Dobiash. Nerda. Gajducek. Neherda in the middle. But McQueen got the better of that one. And here's Asa Hartford, number 10. And here's Tenny Dalglish. Riok, Hartford, Good play by the Scots. Willie Johnston. Joe Jordan's on the far side. Oh, and the goalkeeper's lost it. And Hartford has put it in. 2-0. Just look at the contrast there. Pollock head down. Hartford jubilant. And Jordan creating problems there as Willie Johnston floated this cross in. The goalkeeper looked to have got it and then just threw it down invitingly at Asa Hartford's feet. And you will not get an easier goal in the World Cup than that one. 2-0 to Scotland. And from the camera behind the goal at the other end, what a tantalising cross by Willie Johnston. The keeper under pressure, but losing it, and that's what you call an open goal. So the Scots are in tremendous heart. Asa Hartford having put them 2-0 ahead with still 8 minutes to go to half-time. Well, it was the keeper's mistake. Only winning his 6th cap tonight, 23 years old, Pavel Michalek. A real test of his nerve. And in the early minutes it looked as though he was equal to it, with 1 or 2 very sound saves. But now the Czechs are really up against it. Masson with the throw for Scotland. The Czechs have been to Glasgow in their history, and 3 times they've been beaten. And Javier putting that behind for another Scottish corner. McQueen coming up again to put more pressure on this man. Masson. Curling it in again towards Gordon McQueen. Looks a bit like a hand pushing that one down. McQueen with a throw. Masney. Sandy Jardine back to Alan Roth. Jardine for Jordan, but Berg for Czechoslovakia, an interception there, and here comes Scotland again. Oh, and a good save that time from Willie Johnston, springing up on that right-hand side, but Michalek got down well. McGrain to Masson. Hartford, nice turn. Dalglish. McGrain to Masson. Oh, a nice dummy. Jordan there, cut out at the very last by Pavlik. And here's Jardine. Offside against Dalglish. And Forsyth back to his keeper. Five minutes to half-time. Hartford. Dobiash getting in there for Czechoslovakia. Here's Masson. Even Jardin's right up there. Willie Johnston trying his luck on the far side again. Played through and he's all right this time. The linesman's kept his flag down, but the referee has said no. Bruce Rioch pointing to the linesman and saying that the flag was down. Wojak, you were seeing, saying he was 2 yards offside. Nehoda for Czechoslovakia. Murder. Trying to get those little 1-2s going. Nehoda couldn't get on the end of that one. And a free kick given to Scotland. So another corner for Scotland. Again McQueen is up there. Again Jordan is lurking. And again the keeper. Oh, and I think he's given a penalty. No. He's given an indirect free kick. Well, that indeed is going to be interesting. Let's look at this as Masson takes it. Well, there was a bit of wrestling there. Knows, has he given that as obstruction or what? But he's certainly given what appears to be an indirect free kick for Scotland, some 9 yards out, which means that really that Czech wall ought to be on the goal line. 2 minutes to half-time. Are Scotland going to break through again? 2, 4, 6, 7 men in that Czechoslovakian wall, and indeed the Belgian referee has decided they've all, quite rightly, got to be on that goal line. Michalik, the keeper, has just got a little area to cover on that far side. And they'll want to attack that ball as soon as it's played by Masson to Rioch. I imagine it'll be a tap. There it is, for Rioch off the wall. They might have to take it again because I think they were not within 10 yards. They got within 10 yards, they've got to take it again. 10 yards, he's saying. So, the Scots will get another chance. Will they change it this time, or will it again be Masson for Rioch? Or will they play it a little wider and maybe look for a slightly different angle? They're still not 10 yards away, but he's going to let it go this time. Masson for Rioch, and that time it came off Nehoda, who I suppose couldn't have been more than 4 yards off the ball when it was struck. Good jump there by McGrain, a nice touch by Hartford. The Scots playing really well. Johnston with a long cross again towards Joe Jordan, and Dobiash getting it away. The Scots well worth their 2-0 lead. They've defended well when they've had to. They've been brilliant in the middle of the field, with Masson in particular, closely followed by Hartford. Rioch always going forward, looking for goals, and Dalglish and Jordan being very difficult to handle, with Johnston doing good work down the wings. A good all-team performance by Scotland so far, leading 2-0 here against the European champions of Czechoslovakia. Of course, the Czechs beat the Scots 2-0 in a previous World Cup game in Czechoslovakia a year ago. Chapkovich back to Michalik as we come to the last seconds of the first half. Dobiash, Polak. One or two little flashes from Masny, but as yet not a serious shot for Alan Rough to save in the Scottish goal. And there goes the half-time whistle, and what a brilliant first half it's been for Scotland. with Joe Jordan having put him ahead after 18 minutes. Asa Hartford having added to that one after 36. There's Joe Jordan. Tremendous climbing header by him that put the Scots on their way. Asa Hartford having added the second one, and a lot more excitement to come here at Hampden Park. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to Hampden Park for the start of the second half of this World Cup game. Scotland leading Czechoslovakia 2-0. The Scots in the shirts of dark blue, and the Czechs have made a substitution. They've taken off Josef Murder, their number 8 midfield player, and they've brought on Knapp, the number 14, who's on the ball at the moment. The little back heel there. There's Knapp again. Dalglish. Joe Jordan. Oh, they were very nearly in trouble there. Danny McGrain. Tremendous first half by Scotland. Played with great pace and skill and verve, and really to a large extent overpowering the Czechs, who are going to have to fight and play as they've never fought before to get back into this World Cup qualifying game now. Dobiash. Gerg. Oh, straight to Asa Hartford, and here's Kenny Dalglish. No, that just fell for Gerg, and here's Dobiash. Now for Pollack. Masny. Weren't far from getting themselves a chance there on the edge of the box, but again the Scottish defence snuffed it out. Gajdusek to Nehuda. Here's Knapp, the substitute. Gerg to Pollack. Dvořák. Dobiash. Desperate for a goal early on in this second half to try and pull themselves back into this game. Wales, the other team in this group. I suppose the ideal result for Welshmen tonight would have been a draw, which would have kept the pot boiling nicely for them. Certainly it'll mean, if Scotland go on and win this one, that the Welsh simply have to beat Scotland at Anfield and then do a very good job of work when it's their turn to play in Czechoslovakia. Wales, of course, having already beaten the Czechs 3-0 in Wrexham. Here's Alan Rough, who's hardly had a shot to save. Hartford to Masson. To McGrain. Masson to McQueen. Oh! Covered in time. Long leg just poking that ball back. Dvořák there first. Pollack. Masny. Little right back there, Paric running hard for it, and pulled back by Willie Johnston, giving the Czechs a free kick. So he might have got a fist or an elbow or a finger in the eye. So Gajdušek will take the free kick, left-footed. Dvořák is poised there, it's aimed towards Dvořák. But the big Scottish defenders were equal to it. It's a goal kick. I think it must be a free kick because it appeared to come off the Scottish players. There must have been an infringement there. Dalglish. Sandy Jardine. Masson. Rioch. Jardine. Rioch. It's been just that little bit forward of the midfield most of the evening. Dalglish. And a Scottish throw. Rioch. And Joe Jordan's header, he got up well, but he couldn't get the power. Brain. Onto the right flank that he likes the best. And a corner for Scotland. Off Chapkovich on the free. And it'll be the task of Willie Johnston to float another tantalising corner. Gordon McQueen again on that Czechoslovakian goal line. And plenty of blue shirts are in there. McQueen couldn't quite get the header in. Jardine tried to knock it back again. There was an offside. Here's Dvořák. Gerg. Masny. Here's Masson. Oh, a nice bit of play there. Here's Dalglish. And here's Joe Jordan. And Chapkovich getting it away again for Czechoslovakia. And here's Masny. Poor ball. McQueen cutting it out. Rioch to McGrain. Masson, Hartford. McGrain to Masson. Patient build-up. Bit of activity up front there with Rioch now very much involved. But here's Danny McGrain. That's not a bad shot. They let him go a long way. In the end, it was a lot wider than in the first period. Here's the Celtic and Scotland fullback. Wide of the goal, and in the end, quite a bit wide. Masny. Now, can he get past McQueen? Well, Masson playing it sensibly wide of that goal, and Nehoda, the number 11, for Alan Roth. Masson really has been everywhere tonight. Jardine. Big Tom Forsyth Here's Masson again. A little flick for Hartford. A touch on for Jordan. And here's Hartford through again. Pollack after him. Oh, they were in desperate trouble there. As well for them that Czechoslovakia got that away. Well, that big defender got that away. If he had missed that, Don Masson, who'd started it all from deep, was right behind him. Willie Johnston then with a Scottish corner. McQueen up there again. That's the one it's aimed for. And another corner for Scotland. McQueen took a bump there, but that's a part of the business for men when they come up for corners. Masson again. Good high corner. Fist of the keeper. Jardine with the header, and it's in there! It's Kenny Dalglish. And that makes it 3. It was Jardine's header, but it was Dalglish's deflection. There's the first header. Kenny Dalglish with a touch, past the keeper, 3-0. Look again, look at the deflection the number 8 puts on it, wide of the keeper, good goal, 3-0. With 10 minutes of the second half gone. A free kick to Scotland. Again with the free kick for Scotland. Jordan coming for this one, and that time the keeper well behind it. In fact, there was a free kick. A foul by Joe Jordan. There he goes, climbing all over the Czech defender. Header. And if the Czechs were looking for something to give them a bit of heart in the early part of this second half, they must in their hearts know that it's all up with them now. The Scots are playing so well, and it would take a bigger effort than I fancy that they can produce to pull this game round now. Knapp, that looked a wild challenge again by Rioch. Hartford. Here's Dalglish, the man who just can't stop scoring goals. To Joe Jordan. In for Kenny Dalglish again. No penalty. Good decision. Excellent decision by the Belgian referee. Never in a million years was that a penalty. Jumped all over it. Nehoda. Oh, that's an interesting ball there. And Gajdusek claiming that he was fouled on the edge of the box, and I thought he had a case. But the Belgian referee thought not. And here comes Scotland again with Masson. Dalglish in the thick of it once more. Chapkovic hitting it for Pollack. Turn by Masny. A little right back here, courage. Masny. The noise absolutely deafening. A free kick to Czechoslovakia. Pollack to Knapp. Dalglish for Joe Jordan. And a foul giving Scotland a free kick. No, in fact it's in fact, there was no infringement at all, though the referee was waving his hands all over the place. It's a throw to Czechoslovakia. Nehoda to Masny. Played in there for Nehoda. Challenged strongly by Forsyth. Jardine brought down. Free kick to Scotland. He wasn't very happy with it. Dalglish again, that time beaten by Dvorak. Polak trying to get Gajducek down the right. Nehoda and Masny are waiting in the middle. Oh, what a good save. Good shot there by Gajducek. And the first real positive bit of action that Alan Rough has had to do in this game. Turning it over very competently. Corner for the Czechs. Gajducek with it. Masny. Jordan doing the defending. Masny knew just a little too much for him. And Knapp beaten by Jordan in the end. Tobias getting there just before Kenny Dalglish, but in a right bit of trouble there. And here's Rioch. And here's Rioch. Willie Johnson on the far side. In a bit of space if he can get there with a header. Not a good cross by Rioch. Gajducek. Paurik. Tobias meantime coming off for a bit of attention. A free kick surely, yes, a foul by Danny McGrain. Now Gajducek. Blasting free kick. And they want that wall back a yard or two yet. Anything but 10 yards back. But he still got it through, only for Alan Rough to be right behind it. They're going to bring on another substitute, the Czechs. I think it's going to be Peter Gallis. Now it's Mason. McGrain. Polak. Nehoda. Masny. McQueen going across there. He pushed that just a little too far ahead of him, and McQueen spotted the opportunity well. Paurik. Masny. Paurik. And again, Scotland get it away. Here's Kenny Dalglish. Chancellor now to take off Karol Dobiasz and bring on Peter Gallis. Number 15 Gallis, who is a striker. In fact, he scored against England in the European Championship in Bratislava. And Javier, who hurt himself a moment ago in a challenge with Kenny Dalglish, is coming on. Well, he's a big striker, this number 15, who's got a bit of a look of Joe Jordan about him, and they need some of Joe Jordan's goal snatching now. Oh, what a bad ball! And here's the real Joe Jordan. That's a free kick. And it's a yellow card for Dvorak for the foul here, and quite right too. Coming up to 20 minutes of the second half, Scotland leading 3-0. Masson with the free kick. McQueen had gone in there, but here's Nehoda. Pollack. Gallis. Masney. I don't think he's going to get enough support, and McQueen's, that was a good header. He got a lot of length on that. And here's Jordan. Now, can he outbeat Chapkovich? Can he outpace him? Well, he's found Dalglish. Jordan again, no chance there. It was played a little too firmly there by Dalglish. Foul by Gajducek and Jardine. There's Riop. Certainly the Scottish team have had tremendous support tonight from their fans. Talk about the Hampden Roar, this even with 85,000 as opposed to the old 134,000 that used to be able to get in here. They have made a tremendous noise. They've unsettled the Czechs, they've inspired their own men, and here's Masney though. And here's Riop. Dalglish for Masson. Hartford sending Willie Johnston after that one, but that's no problem for Chapkovich. Knapp to Gallis. They've used their two substitutes. Czechoslovakia allowed to an unfair challenge from behind. Yellow card for Danny McGrain. I suspect not just for that foul, but for one or two earlier on when he was a little wild, particularly on Marian Masney. It's a combination of those two or three challenges. So Nehoda for Czechoslovakia. Gajducek, Masney, and Scotland getting it away to Asa Hartford. Kenny Dalglish. Jordan's right up there. Hartford's made a great run. Masson, Dalglish, Masson. Pace slowing just a little bit unless Jordan can quicken it up here. Oh, they still can't get it away. Here's Willie Johnston. Another little cross by him. Dvorak behind it. So he might have another go. That's a better looking ball. Jordan right in there again. And Pauric. In fact, the whistle had gone for a free kick to Czechoslovakia. Masney. Knapp back, trying to get it back to Masney, but it's Masson instead. Oh, nice bit of skill. Good play by him. Jordan playing it for Masney, for Masson again. Stopped that time by Pollack. Herder to Gallis. Now will he get past Jardine? Hartford. Pollack. A free kick to the Czechs. A foul by Jardine. They brought Dvorak again up on the far side. Gallis, who will add a bit of height to it all as well now, but that won't get through to Dvorak. Berg and Masson hooking it away for Willie Johnston. That's not a bad ball to Kenny Dalglish. Stopped by Pollack. Again, Masson there to head that one away. Johnston past Pollack. Dalglish is up, so is Jordan. Rioch, Masson, Johnston, Dvorak away. Forsyth, Asa Hartford. Advantage played there by the referee, and Asa Hartford finding McGrain. Played in here for Kenny Dalglish. Now Masson. Now Willie Johnston. And Pollack gets it away for the Czechs. Good interception there by Jardine. And kept it in. Gerg. Dvorak. Herder. Played again, this time for Knapp, the substitute. Poor ball again. No trouble for McQueen. 20 minutes now to go. Scotland leading 3-0. Jordan, Hartford and Dalglish the scorers. Dalglish, nice header for Joe Jordan. Hartford's in the middle. Rioch, it'll come for Dalglish. Jordan now for Sandy Jardine. Oh, my goodness, he very nearly got on the score sheet himself, the big defender. Oh, that was certainly too hot for Michalek in the Czech goal to handle. And here's Gallis at the other end now for Czechoslovakia. Masny making a run out towards the right. Gajduček, that left foot of his again, wide of the post, and a goal kick. Good left foot shot, struck well but wide. The feet were too high on Joe Jordan. Oh no, by Joe Jordan. And a free kick to Czechoslovakia. Pollack. Rioch cutting it out. Gerg. And here's Chepkovic. Gallis, played there for Masny. Oh, for Gallis again, could be dangerous this. In the end it's not. McQueen there to do the job for Scotland. Turned back by Jordan for Masson, and here's Kenny Dalglish again. Now Dalglish getting there, knocking it out of the keeper's hands, and Dvorak playing it back to him, and the keeper having a right go at Dalglish. Dalglish saying, well, I was just going for the ball. Well, let's see if he was. A loose ball, 50-50. Well, was that in the keeper's hands or not? And from behind the goal, well, he looked as though he was playing for the ball and went through and collided with the keeper, quite right to give the free kick. Nehoda. There's Hartford. Now Rioch. Relatively quiet game Bruce Rioch's had. Oh, but he's getting past Pollack now. And here's Dalglish. He let it go for Hartford, and Hartford wasn't expecting it, but he almost made it. My word, what a good move. And really almost the right finish. Dalglish, a lovely dummy. I think it took him on the wrong foot for a moment, but his determination got him a chance, and Hartford just over the bar with it. Here he goes again. He's had a great game, Asa Hartford, and really deserves a goal, but not that time. Well, he's got one, of course. So there we are with a quarter of an hour to go. Scotland, well, they're almost there. Certainly their 85,000 fans know they're there. Pollack. Rough there, good interception, well-timed run. Dvorak winning it in the air. Knapp. And now for Pollack. Green with the header. Hartford. Queen. Well, the fans want more goals, and of course in a competition where goal difference is important, you've got to score as many as you can. No way at all is it any good the Scottish players themselves being satisfied with 3. I'm sure they're not. They've really got to go searching for as many goals as they can. Pollack. Knapp. Masney. And now it's Forsyth. Knapp stayed with him well, even at the expense of giving away a free kick. An elbow in the big Scottish number 14. And again, it's Masson with a kick. Here's Danny McGrain. Asa Hartford. Gajdusek was coming in from behind, and he wasn't to know it. Ulrich. Cut out again by Masson. What a game he's had. Too high for Jordan, but that won't stop him running for it. Rioch coming wide to pick it up for him. A little touch there for Hartford. Nice touch again by Scotland. And now for Rioch. Back from the byline and headed away by Chapkovich. It looked as though it might have gone for a corner, but not quite. Instead, it's a free kick. And Gajdusek very angry with Jordan. And Jordan being spoken to by the referee. And if you read it the way I read it, he was saying one more like that and you might be in very severe trouble. push this time by Forsyth. And a free kick. Again, it's the number 7 Czech in the wars. But of course, the Czechs have used both their substitutes. And there are now a matter of 12 minutes left. Polak. Czechoslovakian throw. Nehoda. Gerg, the number 5, with the throw. Finding Nehoda. Well, it might come for Gallis. Couldn't get any power into the shot because McGrain had closed him down so quickly. That is Don Masson doing a lot of shouting and urging people on. He's really aware that the Scots could do with another goal or two, and I suppose he feels in the last 10 minutes that the dispirited Czechs are there for the taking for another goal or two. 10 minutes now to go. Chapkovic, number 3. Czech. And Masson there again for Scotland. He's 33 years old, the oldest player in the Scottish side, but he's worked harder than anyone tonight. And here he is again on the ball, wanting it all the time. And what a nice pass there for Dalglish. Now for Asa Hartford. Oh, that wasn't far wide, and the Czechs were wide open in defence. How they allowed Hartford to go as far as that, well, only they know. But the shot in the end was always just going wide of that left-hand post as we look at it. Czech for Czechoslovakia. Nehoda leaving the ball behind. Czech again, left foot, goal! Well, Czech has pulled one back. One that the Scots could ill afford to lose. Remember, goal difference might be vital in the final reckoning. He's got a sweet left foot, and that beat Alan Rough into the corner of the Scottish net. Here's Czech again. Took it so well. And a goal for Czechoslovakia. Well, the yellow card for Riot. For the foul on Czech, the man who scored. I must say, it's been a brilliant Scottish performance. The only blemish on it for me is that one or two of the Scottish challenges have been far too vigorous. Masney. Well, if the Scots give another goal away, a night of glory will be turned almost into a night of sadness. They've got the 2 points, but they don't want to give away goals. Masson now to Riot. Dalglish has made a brilliant run across the field there. Riot went a long way through with that challenge on Polak. The crowd don't like it. Again, it was a bad Scottish challenge, and again the referee was right to give the free kick. Riot really carried through with that one. Czech, who's taken quite a buffeting tonight, but who was beaten easily there by Sandy Jardine. Here's Polak. The Czechs getting a bit of breeze in their sails at the moment, and Fancy they might be able to snatch another goal. Well, they've got 7 minutes left. They are 3-1 down. Masny, come for Masson. Hartford trying to get a 1-2 with Dalglish, but Hartford had stopped, and the Czechs take it up again through Gajdusek. Gallis has made a run forward. Oh, and nobody really wanted to go for that one, but instead it's Nehoda played in again towards Gallis. And Sandy Jardine turning it back to his keeper, Alan Roth. Masson. And Jardine. Crowd a little irritated by that. Knapp. Willie Johnston to Asa Hartford. This is Gerg. Just stopped well there by Bruce Rioch. That might well be cut out by the right back. No, he's lost it now to Willie Johnston. Pollack is after him, and Knapp got it away. Masny now. Maybe with a chance to get in behind, using his pace well. Gallis is waiting in the middle, and he very nearly got the touch. And in the end, Jardine has to get it back to Ruff, and the voices come back to Scottish throats. They were desperately silenced during that tremendous run by Masny. Rioch. Dalglish waiting up in the middle. Masson waiting in midfield. Here's Don Masson again. A touch for Asa Hartford. Rioch. Dalglish and Jordan fighting for it, but neither of them getting it. Oh, but Rioch got hold of that one. But again, a clumsy challenge again by the Scot. Dvorak for Czechoslovakia. Gajdusek, come for Masson. Here's Dalglish. Jardine. Jordan. Well, he won't get away with that. What's he saying, play on or not? Surely, if anything, there's got to be a free kick to Czechoslovakia, I would have thought. Well, that's incredible. He's given a free kick. He's given it to Scotland. Well, and a yellow card now for Gerg for throwing the ball away. Rank injustice that, because clearly the foul in the first place was Joe Jordan's, the way he held the Czechoslovakian player. Still, a free kick given to Scotland. I don't suppose there'll be many people in Hampden Park sorry about it. Delay while Pollack takes his shin guards off and takes them off the field. Rioch, a touch for Jardine. Masson. That looked like a push on Kenny Dalglish inside the area. The referee might well need to get to grips with these last couple of minutes or so, as Johnston pulls another long cross in. McQueen was right in there that time. Knapp getting it away. Masson. Well, they've got it away to Masny. They mustn't fall again, the Scots, in these last couple of minutes. Nehoda to Gallis. Through the legs, and an obstruction there surely by Jardine. Well, he's letting a lot of things go, this referee. It's a free kick though to Czechoslovakia with about 90 seconds to go. And now a few whistles from the Scottish crowd. I do check with it, it'll come for Pollack though. And he'll want to float that ball back into the area as quickly as he can. Well, in fact, it's a fairly nothing ball, and Forsyth happy to hack that away for another corner. Tom Forsyth. And that went a long way too, as Scotland again failed to get it away. Pollack straight to rough. Maybe that's the last little crisis over for Scotland, leading 3-1, a minute to go. And Scots everywhere now getting ready for the big victory cheer. And although they faltered a little bit in the last 10 minutes or quarter of an hour, they've been well worth it. Although some of their tackling has been beyond the law book. And that really, to my mind, has been the only blemish on a really bright and positive Scottish performance. There's no taking it away from them. It's a great performance by the Scots. Coming to the last seconds now. Check. Free kick to Czechoslovakia. Check, the man who scored the only goal for Czechoslovakia, is with it. Here's Masny, a touch for Gallis, back for Masny again. And that's it. It's a victory by 3-1 for Scotland. With the goals coming from Jordan, Hartford and Dalglish. Check having scored one 9 minutes from the end from Czechoslovakia. But it was never going to be enough. An exchange of shirts. Hartford, who's been absolutely brilliant for Scotland. Ali MacLeod, the delighted Scottish manager. And we're going to be back after this short break to bring you back to Hampden Park for more views on this great Scottish victory. We'll be right back with you.
Magnificent. What about Masson, eh? To me tonight, it was the finest player in the world tonight, Masson. But the whole team were brilliant. You know, threw a goal away, but it's one of these things. 3-1, can't say any more. Delighted.
Of the goals, any one particular that you prefer?
Yeah, they're all three of them are brilliant. I'm dying to see the reruns, you know. Brilliant for all the players. It's magnificent.
You said that Don Masson was outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
Some other players you'd pick out?
No, the whole 11, but for me, Don Masson was absolute world class. You know, brilliant.
What particularly made him world class in your opinion?
He touched the ball more than any other player in the field. He was on the whole thing. It was great.
So how, on this performance, Ali, would you say it's the best since you took over?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. That's the best of Scotland's played, I think, for the last 5-6 years.
And all this marvellous crowd around this year. What do you think of the Scotland supporters?
Well, support. I'm one of them, you know, we're all together. Oh, magnificent. I'd like to go in and see the lads now.
Well, just ask you one more question. How do you feel now about the match against Wales?
Can he come quick enough? Okay.
And of course, Argentina.
It's a long way ahead.
Ali MacLeod,
thank you.
Well done.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Nice one, Alec.
Just telling the press boys, Ali was indicated to me.
For 5 minutes, it's okay. Just walk to the edge, get a bird and walk away.
They overlook fence like rabbits. You see the bloke getting lifted here? Well, he came over there, you say, it only takes one to get the whole crowd, so that's right.
Well, if Mike's missing out here, there's nothing else I can do. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, if I can make it.
Yeah, okay. You like me, the legs are getting the belt over again.
No, I've got fluid in the knee.
Have you?
That's what I do 3 times and had it trained.
Stop coming back.